In this episode, I decided to answer a question that I've been getting asked a lot over on my website, animatorguild.com. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is, can I be a successful animator without drawing skills? It's hard to give an objective yes or no answer on this question because of what it asks. For example, there's no yes or no answer for if someone is a successful animator. Where do you draw the line, But I understand that it's a general question, so I'll give a general answer with some of my opinions and ideas. So in the 3D animation industry, the answer is absolutely yes. There are plenty of highly successful animators in the 3D animation industry who have very few drawing skills. Animating in 3D is more like being a puppeteer or an actor than a draftsman. So even though it's extremely handy in 3D to be able to quickly visualize your ideas by drawing them, you're still able to be a studio animator in 3D without needing to draw. You would still rely on other artists to do the drawing parts of a film production process. There are plenty of artistic drawing required parts when, say, creating a 3D feature film, like all of the layout artists and storyboarding, for example. But you can theoretically work exclusively in the animation process where you position the rig into different poses. You would probably still have a hard time in 3D, especially if you're an independent filmmaker, because 3D animations still involve a lot of drawing and painting in the production process. Now, for 2D animation, it's very difficult to separate your drawing skills from the animation skills in the results that you get. Think about it. In order to make the first frame of an animation in 2D, you have got to draw. There's no way around it. So 2D animation, as we know it, does require at least a base level of drawing skills. The only way to actually cut out drawing skills completely and make something which looks kind of animated, I guess, is to do a rotoscoping technique. This is where you film yourself doing an action in live action and trace over it. Please don't do this though, because you will not get any respect from animators. It won't have the same spark of creativity that real animation has. It's essentially a cheap rip-off of the art form, and everyone will notice it and call you out on it. So my advice is to not bother with rotoscoping and to actually just go all out with learning 2D. So in order to understand this better, you should have a look at this diagram I have made. I'm going to go into this more in some other videos, but for now I thought I'd just bring it up to for this topic especially. It basically tries to break down the three core disciplines that make up the craft of 2D filmmaking. Now, this assumes that you're not working as part of a big studio where you just get handed storyboards that come your way and then you just animate it within the scene. It assumes that you make your very own 2D animated films. There are four core skills on there, with directing being by far the biggest and most important skill. I would say that out of those three disciplines, animation fundamentals is probably the smallest category. It's actually fastest and easiest to learn, and it's the least expressive discipline of all of them on there. Most of the visual expression that you get from watching an animation is usually not from the animation itself, like the movement. It's actually from the directing and the art style. Animation principles do add a lot to the animation, but it's nothing without the art and directing, in my opinion. Saying that, I think that the closest you can get to pure animation practice without much need for drawing fundamentals is probably in effects animation. So this is things like fire, water, smoke, magic, explosions, and energy effects. These are a lot more focused towards the animation principles because they have a lot less structure to them, and they're more characterized by how they move and not necessarily how they're drawn. So it's less about the drawing technique. And you can go into effects animation as a specific skill. It is extremely niche, so it's a very small market, but you could go into that if you really do hate drawing. Effects animation is out there. It still does certainly require drawing disciplines, but it's something to keep in mind, I guess. But now I'm going to offer you a solution to this problem. For those of you asking if you can skip out on drawing skills and still create 2D animations, my recommendation is to at least learn your drawing fundamentals. This will advance you in your animation skills, because the two go hand in hand. You don't need to be insane at drawing super detailed works of art in order to animate with freedom, or you don't need to be good at like oil painting or that kind of stuff, but you do need a strong grasp of the drawing fundamentals, specifically things like gesture, form, anatomy, proportions, if you're doing character animation, that is, proportions, and of course the one that goes in the realm of directing and art is that things like composition and lighting. They're extremely important if you're going to be creating your own animated films. The only valid excuse for someone to not be able to learn these skills is perhaps if they had like a condition like, I don't know, like Parkinson's or arthritis or any other kind of physical restriction, in which case animation probably isn't for you, I'm afraid. But everyone should be able to learn these skills. They're all doable, and I don't like really the excuse, I can't draw, because I think that anyone with a brain, an eye and a hand can draw. And so you can become a good artist. You just need to get rid of those limiting beliefs that you have. I recommend that all artists should learn to draw as much as they should learn to animate, because of the relationship that the two have. If you want to start learning to draw and you're a complete beginner or you're not very confident, I recommend the book Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. It's a good one to get you started. There are also way more drawing books out there. You should particularly look for books which don't just teach you how to draw a specific thing, like how to draw dogs, or how to draw a shark, or how to draw the human head. Well, that would be alright, but instead you could look for a book which teaches you on how to draw everything, and those kind of books are the books which teach you the principles of drawing. So drawing from life, how to draw from life properly. And that way you'll be able to draw literally anything. You just have to envision it and you just have to research it. So these books will help you draw the most. Also, I recommend taking up life drawing lessons. This is really great for getting the mileage in, getting just as many drawings down as you possibly can. I do life drawing at least once a week, and it's one of the fastest ways to learn how to draw. You'll probably accelerate fastest just by doing life drawing lessons and having a good teacher in life drawing. Another thing I would recommend doing is visual research. This is simply the process of gathering and studying visual resources. For example, surf the internet for your favourite styles of drawing. Or let's say that you want to animate a pirate ship. Don't just draw a pirate ship. You should research what a pirate ship looks like. Find a dozen or more images of pirate ships and break down how they are made, what colours are being used and the ratios, and what they look like from different angles. So doing this will instantly boost the quality of your drawings. I hope this advice helped a lot of you. If you want to learn more about animation, I have lots of free videos over on my website, animatorguild.com. I even have the source files to my animations, which are free to download there. The link is in the description, so go check it out. If you like the videos that I make and you wish to learn more about animation, my friend Hikarian has a great channel which is about animation. She's a fantastic animator, and she has recently started a new tutorial series called Hikarian's How-Tos, so go check it out if you have the time. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Hey there, Hikarian here with a bit of a tutorial or how-to for the TV Paint users out there. So, for those who are not familiar with TV Paint or new to it, I'll go over the coloring fill bucket tool real quick, because if you come from something like Flash, then it's a bit different.